freedomtalkradio.net.
The earth. Right? Why? Because it's viewing from the earth, which is fine. That's what it should do. So the program's quite happy with it. Except it's all out under the place, of course. Then we go to here, and it's there. That's what I found.
Yes.
It struggles. It's trying to do the calculations.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. It's here on the 24th. Where's it gone to? Suddenly, it's down around Antarctica, and it's lighting up Antarctica like a Christmas tree.
It is. Now, I'm looking at the sunlight graphs. This is for 2013. Now, according to this, nighttime is this is right over the South Pole, like not in the positions where they have some of their stations, but right over the South Pole, from May through to August is the darkest time. And then they have what is called an astro. They've got different levels of light. They've got day, civil twilight, nautical twilight, astro twilight, and nighttime. So it's supposed to be nighttime from May through to August, and then the astro twilight, which is a dark grey on here, for the month before and the month after, and then it goes to a nautical twilight, and then a civil twilight before it's full daylight.
So in the 25th of July, it should be dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Here it is, the 25th of July, 10:50 UTC, on the 66th light of 144, because they're 10 minutes apart. All right, so we'll step through backwards. That's 10:40, 10:30, and you can see all these lines along here, they're pink, right? Because it's reflecting light off the moon, the sunlight off the moon. And you watch what happens. There's 10 o'clock, 9:50, 9:40, 9:30, 9:20, 9:10, 9, 8:50, 8:40, 8:30, pitch black.
Now,
it's at 8:20 UTC time. Local time is 3 UTC.
right, now it's explaining here the polar circles, which, the polar circles themselves go from 90 degrees up to 66 degrees, 33 south, etc. Mark the latitude beyond which the sun remains completely below the horizon throughout the day on the midwinter's day. It's got a second graph where as you start 90 degrees south and then start moving, it's got it up to 80.
This is on the South Pole.
That's Nehemiah, because these other stations, their latitudes are not 90 degrees south.
No, they're not.
No, they're north of that. So it does show the change in the amount of...
66 degrees is where it's that line of demarcation.
That's right, yeah.
Night and day.
Yes.
Now, below that, at a certain time of the year, it's dark.
Yeah.
And we're in it right now. Right? And Nehemiah is way south of that point.
Yes.
Matter of fact, all of them are.
Yeah.
Because Antarctica is a very large area, right? You've got these other Australian stations there that we've been looking at for years and years and years. Right? That some are closer to the North Pole than others, the South Pole than others. Nehemiah is way down. Right? So what we should not get at any circumstances, we go back to 8 in the morning, it's pitch black. You look at this, they've got a light on there because they're preparing. You watch what happens, I'll go back a bit further. They're preparing to get all the equipment out to watch, and a very bright light will appear in a moment. 6:30 in the morning, they're up having breakfast or whatever. They're ready to go. 5, 5:40, 5:20, 5:10, 5, 4:50, 4:40. It's pitch utterly black, right? We keep going right through. And then we know when we get past the midnight point, it's going to start going back the other way. We're now down to 10 minutes after UTC midnight, right? Local time is 6. That can tell you exactly where it's now. We're at 23:50. So we've now gone full circle. We're coming back again. $23:20, lights are coming on. 6 in the morning at local time, current time. Getting the gear out. This bright light, I think that this, out here is a gate that opens like that, it drops down, and then the vehicles come out on it. Right, and they start running around with their snow plows and all these other things they've got.
Right, because that's at 10 past 6 in the
7 UTC, right? So that's 18:10 here. Current time is 7. 18 UTC. So this is what we're concerned with. 17:50, bright lights. They're spending about an hour getting all the junk out and bugger about. Then they close it. Now look at this here. Right? It's starting to come. So we've got 16:40 UTC, 7 UTC local time. And that is just, we're just starting now. You can start counting from here, right? We're going backwards, remember?
Yep.
So I've got 16 in the morning, go back another way. So at 16:50, or 1700 is jet black, so write that number down. 1700. She's bright at 16:20, even brighter at 16:10. So this is the afternoon, if you like. So now we're going back through the day, and we're able to go from one to the other and count how much sunlight, is supposed to be down there in the middle of winter. Now, you see the pink glow there?
Yes.
That's because the moon is reflecting the sunlight. The whole sky is lit because the moon's overhead. It's passing over.
Mm.
We're now down to 8 UTC, 9:10 local time. So we've still counted this number here. Still going backwards. Now it's down to 8:50. 8:40, 8:30, 8:20, 8:10, 8 o'clock is jet black. So how many hours have we watched there?
Where it was light?
When you started?
Or 1700, yeah.
And now it's 8. So 8 from 17
9.
is how much?
9
hours
hours
of sunlight for the middle of winter?
I don't think so.
Shit.
Yeah.
This is the reason for it. This little program here, it battles. It took me, and I said to you yesterday, I've got to get this thing to work properly because it wouldn't work properly. I couldn't get it to flick the moon on because it couldn't find it. Why? I've got this for about 20 seconds when I was doing the math, and the distance to the moon at that position was 25,000 miles. 25 is your important number. The width of the pyramid is 25 years wide, counting that sun is perfect. For people who don't understand, the pyramid is laid out at 36524.24 inches for the perfect shape. And then they moved it inwards and they reduced it by 286.1, which we did yesterday on the other YouTube. Right. Now, what it means is that 9131.06 pyramid inches wide is 1/4 of a solar year. Right? So times 10 gives you 25 years. And the base of it is 9131.06 days, which is 25 years. Okay? So the 25 number is very important. Why? Because of the solar eclipse that happened 14 days after I was born.
Yes.
That was 8888.8 when it crossed the 25-degree latitude north, just below and under the pyramid, measuring to my home that I would stay in for 942 days, until I was 942 days old, brother, which is how many verses there are in the word Jesus, and 88.8 miles to that location, Rothschild Avenue in the midst of hell. If you're going to come back as a little baby, you're going into the guts of hell. And it's going to identify exactly who the beast is, which is Rothschild. It's not the Pope. The Pope is an idiot. He's the Antichrist.
He's the Antichrist, yeah.
Pope Benedict was the man who's the only man in the world who has said, listen, this is him. And that's his job. Right? It's right then the conclave should have been called off. Oh no, they went ahead because they wanted to get Gogliglio in. Right? The man who takes a baby out of a mother's womb after he's ripped it open with a knife and smashes its head, holding its heels and smashing its head against the wall. That's the oath that this Gogliglio has sworn. Because he's a Jesuit, he's a Jew bastard. And he says, you don't need to believe in Jesus to go to heaven. No, he says to the fucking Jews.
And who am I to judge all the LGBTs?
That's right. Who are you to judge, you arsehole? You don't change the words of Jesus. You've got to believe in me or you ain't getting into my house. That's just, my front door's got Jesus on it. You either believe in that or you don't get in. It's that simple. So there we are. That's what's happening in Antarctica. There's the proof right there. I'll turn the camera back on. We'll go do some more timing. I've got time down the bottom. That's right. So, we've gone from 8 in the morning, 8:00 UTC time, local current time is 1:03. So in other words, 1:03 in the morning, right? And just start moving that through. We'll go forward. This is just telling current time because of what the computer, don't even watch that, it's nothing to do with it. It's this one here you got to look at. 8:20, 8:30, 8:40, 8:50, 9 o'clock, 9:10, 9:20, 9:30, 9:40, 9:50, 10. Look at that. That's because the moon's up here, up above, the sun's over here, it's reflecting off the moon down onto here with a pink light. That's what it's all about. What do you think of them?
Wow. Yeah, see these ones here are the Australian government stations and they are further north, like Davis, Mawson, they're at 68 degrees, 69 degrees, Casey's 66, Macquarie Island is 54, Heard Island 53, Kingston 43. That's at the latitudes, but Nehemiah is where it is.
That's right. It's the furthest south.
Yes, Germany.
Now go even further south, right on the pole, you won't be seeing anything. But it will be nice and bright, sitting there in the moonlight. It must be magnificent. I'd love to be down there and see it. All right, now that should suffice.
Okay, now, what are we going to talk about now?
I'm trying to get the blood back on your face. What was you talking about before I talked to you about this? This is so fantastic.
Yeah, I was talking about the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Well, I have threatened just now. Well, let's talk a little bit about the prophecies of the Hindi, which is correct. These Satanists are dead scared of Kali. Kali cuts heads off. They're dead scared of that. Not realising that Kali and Jesus and Yahweh is all representative of the same entity. One. I have no problem. Put them all these FEMA camps, fill them up with these monsters, and just feed them through the guillotines. Not a problem. I will push the switch each time. What's their name? Obama? Yes, put the air in. You're gone. Not a worries. Fear him. What's fear me? Fear is respect. You better respect him. They can kill your head off your shoulders and your soul in hell. Because that's where you're going. We had that Jewish guy, older fella, who died, had a near-death experience. Oh, that wasn't pretty at all.
No.
And he's a nice, likeable old fella.
Yes, and the gist of it was that...
you're living in a lie.
Yes, this is the world of lies.
And you go to the world of truth. And when you go to the world of truth, the whole life flashes before your eyes. How many times have you heard that over the last 50 years people have had near-death experiences, saying the whole life flashes before your eyes, and then you've got judgment, depending on your religion. You know, if you're a Jew, you haven't got no Jesus figure. But you have some old man show up, which he assumes is his grandfather, you know, with a white beard, and frightens the living shit right out of him.
Yeah, he actually
and
grabbed
he said the blackness was so thick
you could cut it with a knife.
You could cut it, but you don't have a body.
Yeah, he could feel because the grandfather, I thought the grandfather grabbed him around the throat and started to squeeze. He said, "What are you doing?" Let me go. "You're hurting me, you're hurting me." Yeah. And the grandfather's saying, "You've come from the world of lies. This is the world of truth. How many lies have you told? How many women have you been with? Look what you've done. Go, you've lived your life." Yeah. Well, of course, this is the whole Jewish dogma.
How many acts of kindness have you done?
Yeah, well, this is...
Were you in a lawn chair looking at bloody Netanyahu bombing innocent people? Those innocent people just happen to be replaced by angels.
Angels, yes.
But how could God let this happen? I don't, you do.
It's for the world. It's the judgment.
Absolutely.
The judgment. God is judging all those who are in the positions of power and the reaction of those who are watching what's going on. It's the ones who are in the position to be able to stop these things. But it's also the spectators.
Don't give a shit.
It's
they want it to happen.
The spectators, the ones who are rooting and cheering like a gladiator sport for Israel, while the used to be the Christians, still Christians, however, the Christians was the Palestinians being fed into the lion's den, gladiator sport. And I'm sickened by the comments that I'm reading from supporters out of the USA, Christians. The rapture-ready Christians who are rooting and supporting and praying for Netanyahu. You're in the world of lies. It's all back to front. The Christians are the enemy of God. They have been so deceived, they have bought the lies of the ones who are. There is no truth in them. That's why he condemned them. John 8:44. They are of their father, the devil, who was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. This is who Christian America, Australia, wherever you are, Britain, Europe, if you are supporting and rooting and praying for Netanyahu and Israel, you have fallen and you are deluded. And you will be reaped along with Netanyahu and all of his ilk. You see, as much as what's-his-face, Rothschild, is behind the scenes and is operating, pulling all the strings, the purse strings, financing everything, all of you lot are doing it. What's Lucifer? He works for God. He is only the tempter. It's you lot that do it, fall for it, accept the money, go for the graft, thinking you will escape. No way, Jose. Whatever you have allowed to happen, whatever you have done, whatever you have allowed to happen, whatever you have prayed in support of regarding slaughtering, butchering, not only the Palestinians, which has been ongoing, But now in the Ukraine, you have the genocide of the Ukraine people because Netanyahu, they all know, oh, whoops, seems like we are Khazars genetically. They have the report. So what happens? In March, Pope Francis releases, along with two, why did he choose, or who was it that suggested to him that he have two Ukrainian children release those doves from the window in the Vatican? And then, of course, there was the marvellous attack. They say it's happened before. Well, yes, it has happened before, of course. However, the world is watching. The world is awake up. The world knows. They're reading the signs. Was it a crow and a seagull attacked the two doves? So shortly after that, this is back in March, what happens in the Ukraine? All hell begins to break loose. Sponsored by the USA, that makes desolate on behalf of Israel. All bowing down and licking the arse. I could say something else really crude, but it's what Jews do at circumcision. The rabbis, what a filthy end. Circumcision is the mark of Cain, idiots.
If you was meant to be circumcised, you've been born circumcised, like I was. It's a mark of royalty. We're born that way. Genetic.
God did not decree circumcision.
And have a rabbi suck the little child's dick after he's cut.
There you go, you said it.
That's what the rabbis do.
Yes.
They suck the little baby boy's dick.
Yeah. Sick.
In front of the whole congregation.
Oh, yeah. No wonder God has more time for atheists than Christians. Now you've got the Muslims. Nice people, yes. We were there, we were amongst them. Deluded.
Totally stupid.
Oh,
but
totally.
They would be also the ones to first rip out the sword and cut your head off if you said anything against their religion.
Oh, well, against their prophet. Their prophet. Their prophet.
I don't know if the prophet Muhammad believed in Jesus 100%.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's how he spread Islam all over the Middle East. He did it by telling these leaders that Jesus, God be upon him, was it what they say?
Oh, no, peace be upon him.
Peace be upon him.
P-U-B-H.
Was the soul of Allah.
So what does that mean? It means he was God in the flesh, which is what he said. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. The Father and I are one.
So we then go into the Quran, which is all manipulated. And we have Jesus did not go to the cross.
Oh, no.
Judas
No,
went to the cross.
no, because
Why?
God...
Because God wouldn't have his little son's dick hanging out for everyone to see.
And he wouldn't have him suffer that torture on behalf of everybody. No way. Publicly humiliated like that, being naked. Oh, what idiots. What idiots. Idiots, idiots, idiots. So it's not looking good, is it?
No, we'll go back to the prophecies that start on the 27th, 22 days away.
Yes, that's right. Were you going to turn the camera around onto... We did it before at the beginning of the year, but it's revision.
Again,
Revision. The Nostradamus alignment. All coming down to the 27th. And whatever series...
Is it called the Nostradamus alignment?
Oh, I don't know what it's called. That particular one that you were looking at. No. I'll have to go back into the history and see.
Go into the history novel.
Oh, wait on. Are you your channel or...?
Well, I was looking in this particular channel I'm looking at it.
Which is Golightly Marshall, right? You.
Golightly Marshall as well. So, see if we can find it.
Oh, excuse me. I started again. Could become a daily.
The history I have on mine was altered. I have great difficulty with the computer.
Well, what else is new?
So I can't open up the history to see where I've been. So we're looking for the very well done prophecies that open the pit of hell on the 27th of July and go through to the
3rd of September. Oh, here it is. Cloud Kicker 1000.
What's it called?
Type in 27th of July 2014, Gates of Hades. What the hell is Siri? Siri predicts the gates of hell opening. What's that? Can somebody please tell me what Siri is?
Oh, don't worry about it.
I know, it's bullshit. But yeah, see, the world is thinking that they're already on the earth. The gates of hell has already been. The demonic realm is on the earth already, so it's not like they're releasing anything from hell to come upon the earth. They're already here. So if the gates of hell is opening and then closing,
back in. That's what it's all about.
Totally.
I did a series on Nostradamus. I think it was. I'll just get it set up so we can look at it.
Take it back and up, yeah.
You notice this number there, 12222224?
Yeah, so let's read in Srimad.
Go back a bit.
Okay.
The guy who did this, he was just trying to decipher the code of
Nostradamus. So be ready to stop it as though. Okay, the Bhagavata Purana, it is said, but the number is 12.2.22.24. So the Bhagavata Purana, it is said.
This is Hindi from the Vedas, right? There is the book itself where he's reading from. These are slips that are all stacked up, and they put a string around between two boards to hold them. So this is getting into it. It's written in Hindi. That'll give you an explanation of what that is.
When the moon, the sun, and Jupiter are together in the constellation Karkata, which is Cancer, and all three enter simultaneously into the lunar mansion Pushya, the Satya Yuga will commence.
So now it's talking about the moon and Jupiter. I've been measuring things from Jupiter, be it altitudes, be it distances, etc.
Then I discovered something very interesting. Can you read that highlighted?
It is the lunar mansion at Prasepi, Jupiter's place of exaltation, is to be found. Evidently, the Hindus attributed something special to Jupiter's location in this part of the zodiac. So it's lined up with Cancer, the crab. A special impulse of the good comes to expression here. The prophesied conjunction of the Sun, Moon and Jupiter in Pashya will take place on July the 27th, 2014, possibly signifying the emergence of the Kalki avatar to inaugurate a... Now the Kalki is, we're talking about
the Christ, the Messiah. Now Raj, when we were in Fiji in 2011, and Raj, the Hindu holy man, was explaining all of this, he knew that Brian was Kalki. And he explained to us about the Kali, the time of the Yuga and all of this that's coming.
Now it's going to go to the next slide.
Now, that's the constellation, Praesepe. He says, then I Google it.
He says, holy shit, this is it. He's right.
Yes, this young man has been working on this for a very long time.
This is what it takes other people to focus. This mysterious B is the Beehive Cluster M44, and you can find that in most astronomy programs, or just type it into the M44 with nothing else.
Now,
and it'll come up a picture of it in images.
Right, just stopping there for a minute. Beehive Cluster M44. 44 is Brian, and it is also the year you were born in, of course. M is for Messiah, but now when I was looking for the Christ on the earth in his body of flesh, I kept coming across B's. B's were B. First of all, it's the letter. A B is a double D, and it is the letter of highest resonation. And surrounding me within my family, each member of... that's right. However, each of them had a property at a location that began with a B. Bowral, Balmain, which is where I was living, Braidwood, 2 farms down there, and then Bathurst, where Carla and Peter bought a place. So as I'm going through all of this, and the focus during the JCDC part of the DCC DVD was about the B, the resonance of the B. And I kept saying to the angels, what is it with the B? Hello? What is it with the B? And then, of course, when I find Yahweh and it was through this Nostradamus 13 that was sent to me by David Clues, the Blues Clues, that I knew I had tracked you down, I had found you, because I'd been looking for 9 years. And of course, your email address at that time was...
Did you track me down? What was the first thing you said to me? You bastard!
Hello! No, and your email address was bbbb@pacific.net.au. So this Beehive cluster is all about Brian, BLGM, born January 11th, 1944. So it is exciting what we are headed toward, and it is tomorrow. Sunday is the 27th here in Australia.
So the gates of hell are opening tomorrow, and it's not to let the beast out, it's to put the beast back in.
Yes, because the beast is already here.
So we've got 38 days of happy. I'll be throwing these monsters back in.
Yes, they'll be disappearing in all kinds of...
Well, they might not report it.
Oh, added to that list. Oh, we've got Rupert Murdoch and all of his minions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Shall I go on?
Yeah.
So on the screen what we've got is the V out of the Nostradamus drawing. The picture, he's saying, now makes perfect sense. And he's quite right. So he's got down the bottom is a Scorpio, and it's got his tail has been crushed off, because in Ophiuchus, the 13th constellation, you've got the Scorpio being crushed. And of course they are my first wife, second wife, and my daughter. And my youngest stepdaughter is also representative in that, and she is the archer that fires the arrow through the centre of the Milky Way galaxy into the Scorpion and kills it. So what is she? She's Sagittarius. So that's the horse body with the human torso holding a bow and arrow and shooting it through from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere. So here we have then the Jupiter, which you see the face, right? The moon, like man in the moon, so to speak. Sun and Jupiter behind it in Cancer. So he's got it right. Now, it has to be done by somebody. I do it, no one listens. Now here this goes up there, and of course it remains up there.
It's got 94,000 views.
94,000 views. It's very important. I put it up, I get 9 views. That's me opening it 8 times, a new one. So you see the Scorpio sticking through the moon, through the sun, through Jupiter, and he's saying it's perfect. Well, of course it is. And then it gives you the dates from the 27th of July 2014. And so he said, according to the Srimad Bhagavatam, this astronomical event is connected with the emergence of the Kalki avatar, Messiah Christ, and the beginning of the Golden Age. Many astrologers around the world have calculated this extreme rare astronomical conjunction to occur on July the 27th, 2014.
It must be a very important astrological moment because Nostradamus' picture telling the same thing.
So, now Nostradamus had become a Christian, though he was a Jew. His father was a Jew, and he knew all about the Zohar and all the different prophecies, but of course he's a decent man, and he's saying it's 27th of July 2014. Now he goes on to say, I will now show you something very interesting. I should suggest you look this up yourself. Just type in the 27th of July 2014 goes to Hades. So I'll just pause it there to read it. If one asks Siri, what is July 27th or what is July 27th, 2014? She'll give the response, it's Sunday the 27th of July 2014, opening gates for Hades. You won't find the word Hades in the New Testament, it is hell. So, if one asks Siri, what is September the 3rd? Or what is September the 3rd, 2014? She'll give the response. It's Wednesday, September the 3rd, 2014, the closing of the gates of Hades. So we've got the opening of the gates of Hades on the 27th of July, 2014. And we've got closing the gates of Hades, September the 3rd, 2014. And I assume this is the question that you're asking on one of his apps, if he's got his mobile phone there showing it. What you ask the Siri, which is apparently one of the apps on his mobile phone, and it tells you what it is. Yeah. So these mobile phones are quite marvellous. You see, you've got the speaker there, you can just talk to it, and it'll, in this marvellous technology we have today, it'll talk to you. He can talk, ask a question, and it'll answer the question.
Now, what's interesting about those dates too is that it was 10 years ago, on July 27th, it was 2004, when I left Canada on the 25th of July, but arrived in Australia because of the international dateline on the 27th of July.
And this is going to the next picture, and you see a spoke wheel at the top, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so what is 8? August.
August. Now,
we've got the beehive on either side of August, so we've got the 27th of July to the 3rd of September. So you've got the beehive is taking the 8th month, August, in the wheel of time, and it's got 3 crescent moons in it. Below that, you've got the moon, and you've got Jupiter in the largest planet behind the sun. That's just been drawn that way because the way that Nostradamus did it. And he's saying this part of the picture clearly shows 3 crescent moons. It can represent time period after 27th of July 2014. In other words, when Moon, Sun and Jupiter are in conjunction in the Hindu lunar nakshatra Pushya 4:17 degrees Cancer, which is /Priya Sepi, something will happen between the approximate time represented by the three crescent moons from the moment of conjunction. Conjunctions when they line up. I've already showed you that in the last PowerPoint we've done. What is interesting is that between the 27th of July opening the gates of Hades and the 3rd of September closing gates of Hades, there will be three crescent moons, which is based on the calendar that he is familiar with. And we'll just move that forward a little bit here. Flick over. This will take a little longer. I'm pausing it to look at. So I'll pause it again. So we see on the left, we've got July, and it's ending with a crescent moon. Right? So we've got July the 27th to see the crescent moon, and you've got 4 days to go until the month's changes over to August. Then we've got 2 crescent moons in August. We've got the waning and the waxing moons. At the second last day, he's got marked as being a crescent moon, but you could also go back 2 or 3 before that. So you can go back to the 27th, 28th, 29th, all crescent moons. And then you go into September, and here's showing that the 3 crescent moons have now taken place, and then you've got the 3rd, and we can go in later and I'll do the distance to the moon based on September the 3rd. So what they're saying is Nostradamus is predicting. Remember, he became a Christian, so he's familiar with Revelation. He is predicting that the gates of Hades will line up with the book of Revelation, where the word is hell. And it is in Revelation. I'll go to the computer and look it up. Most of the hell references are in Revelation. So it's talking about hell, it's talking about Revelation. So with this nifty little computer, we can just type in these days hell. We see it comes up 54 times. It's in the Old Testament, of course. We don't want to worry about that. But it's also in Matthew. It goes right the way through down to the important ones is Revelation 1:18. And the 4 times in Revelation, I'll read it. I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and death. Right? So, we'll bring it over to this computer here. And we'll line that up. On the right hand side, I've got the NIV, and it's very handy to have it like that because I can compare what they're constantly changing. So what they change, I don't want you to know. So what we have at the bottom there, and I can now switch that with this particular program, it's very good. And we've got, I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death. What you can do, you can go to the concordance and you can type in the verse number if you want with this particular program. It's very, very neat. It's like a competition in public games. That's in Greek, where you go to Hebrew, 118, and it's got a Persian name. So it's indicating that Persia has something to do with it. Right, now we go to the next one. And behold, what he's saying is, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Next one, Revelation 20:13. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. This is July the 27th. Then it goes through, you read that right through, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Right? That's all very interesting. So there we got Revelation 20:13 and 20:14. If you read 20:12, it is, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened, and another books were opened. I'll read that again, a bit far away. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, that's me, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. So that's what we're talking about, my sweetie. I'll do an extensive study on the next astronomy programs and see what's going on, because the reality is the astronomy programs are not behaving as they should, because they are based on information that has been changed due to the crossing of the Milky Way galaxy in the year 2011, because time was out by two factors. 1 BC to 1 AD, they didn't count any days whatsoever. It should be 365 days. Then they changed with the Gregorian calendar. This is why it's called Gregorian calendar, because Pope Gregory XIII, he was told by his astronomers that studied the sundial in the Temple of the Winds in the Vatican, and it was out by 10 days. So on October the 4th, 1582, he ordered that the next day become the 15th. And it was on October 14th that conclave for the monster, John Paul II, who was the man who delivered Cyclone B. He was a Jew, though of the Catholic family. His family became Catholic, but his mother was Jew. He delivered the Zyklon B to the concentration camps, and at any moment he could have said it was used because of the amount they was bringing in.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
It was used for killing the head lice.
Yes.
Which is what eventually killed people at the very end of the war.
Typhus from the lice. That's it.
They had no more Zyklon B, and they had no food. Everything was bombed and the rails were cut up, so they got no food coming into the concentration camp.
A typical British manoeuvre.
Should have been called Club Med. Jewish Club
Well,
Med.
it kept all of these survivors alive, away from the...
Now, people say, oh, my parents died in the Holocaust. Oh, it's dreadful. They died at the very end of the war because of starvation and typhus, not walking off a train straight into the oven and getting burned alive.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to say, because these are Jewish lying bastards. Even when their own parents, when they say, oh, they died in the Holocaust, well, they died in the Holocaust, all right. The Holocaust didn't exist in the way that they're being portrayed as.
Well, when that's right, it was, the Holocaust was known until the word was hijacked by the Jews who are Jews and are not, call themselves Jews and are not. The Holocaust was known as the night that Dresden and Hamburg were firebombed.
130,000 people died, wouldn't
Hundreds of
20
thousands
minutes.
perished in the fire by sacrifice organised by the Jews in those atrocities. So there's no excuse, the judgment is in, and what a cleaner place. Restoration to the creation. The LGBTs, they're all out of here. They're toast, rather they're a barbecue.
Everybody loves somebody sometimes.
Sometimes.
Whatever they can dream up is not going to be as bad as what they're going to get.
Yeah. and the meek inherit the earth. It's all prophecy.
The meek can inherit the earth. You've got to be like a small child to get in. If you ain't, you're not getting in. There will not be one word ever spoken again about the Jews. They will not exist. Judaism will not exist. It will not be taught. It will not be spoken of. You'll have the elders like you and I who say this is what you're going to do, and there's going to be an argument. That's it. This is how the world's going to be run. I drink to that.
Well, we had better finish it here for today. Today was show 60.
Like I said, bicarbonate soda.
Show 60 coming to an end. How appropriate. Joel's got some work to do.